Hey Saints fans, it's Jake from Saints TV. Game over, round 10 is done, and obviously we didn't win because I would be going off my tits right now if we had have won. But we lost. It was Richmond 105, St Kilda 77. Now the first thing I want to point out is that Richmond kicked 15-15, they had 30 shots on goal. We kicked 12-5, and there's no surprise that kicking straight keeps you in the game. For once we actually kicked straight, we didn't have any trouble in front of goal, apart from Membry still kind of slicing across the ball and shanking it, but generally we kicked straight. Gresham kicked 6 straight and was just ridiculously good. He was just like I was telling my parents before, he was a no bullshit sort of player, whereas he got the ball, he knew where the goals were, and he made it go through. He didn't worry about anything else. You know, some players get the ball around goals and they panic and they want to handball it to someone else, but he just got the ball and he went straight to goal, and he was just very classy. That's, I think, 11 goals in 2 games against Richmond now for Gresham. He kicked 5 in the last game of the season last year, if you watched that or went to that, and he's kicked 6 today. The disappointing thing is we lost, but the disappointing thing on top of that is that we couldn't, even without Jack Riewoldt, we let another player that isn't really a known big goal scorer get a hold of us, and that's a player like Caddy, DeGoey last week. You know, there's players like this that are big. They're very similar builds when I think about DeGoey and Caddy. They're a big midfielder playing forward permanently for the moment. But they got hold of us in that respect. But in the majority of the game, I think I've got some of the stats here because I feel like I don't share those things in these videos, and it helps me a lot with kind of backing up what I'm talking about. But we had a lot of the ball. Early in the game, they were peppering the goals, and it was just like, when is this damn wall gonna blow open, and when are they going to take over and blow us away? But it never really happened until maybe the last 5 or 6 minutes, which is a bit disappointing considering they had Hooley out and Jack Riewoldt with that hit in the first quarter against Carlisle, which he might get a week just because Riewoldt didn't come back on, and it's Carlisle, and I reckon the AFL's got it out for him. But we'll see how that goes on Monday. But in terms of stats, like, we were very competitive. We didn't have a lot of inside 50s, but for once, our efficiency going inside 50, even though we're probably going to talk about how much we butcher the ball going forward, it was actually really high. I mean, we had marginally less contested possessions. We had a lot more uncontested, so that was clearly a game plan going. We had nearly 80 more, and that was a lot of, switching the ball out of the half-back line, and they... Fox Footy was showing, Nick Del Santo was talking about how we were getting around the zone, and that was kind of something West Coast did, whereas if you go straight through the middle, that's where Richmond can get you. They turn the ball over, they run in numbers back the other way, and they get you on the break, and they get easy goals over the top. They didn't do that too often. There was only a couple of times where we were troubled that way, and it was like, Rice, where he dinked the kick, and it was smothered, and they went in and kicked a goal. That's how Richmond like to kick their goals. It's not through, clean movement. It's through pressing the opposition, getting the turnover, and then kicking a goal on the outside. Contested marks, they took more. Tackles, we had more. I thought our pressure was back to kind of where it's been. Hey, Dawn, I'll just say hello so to keep typing it. But, yeah, tackling was good. Tackles inside 50 was poor, though, and Richmond are known to be very good in this area. They had 10, we had 1. Now, I'd love for someone to comment, can anyone actually remember when that actually happened? That 1 tackle compared to their 10. I feel like that's where they got us. They got a lot of rebound out of defence. They took the ball at ground level very easily when we bombed it in there. And that's where they develop a lot of their attacks, is from the back half, with Rance, in particular, running off McCartan a fair few times. But I thought Paddy back, he was wearing the helmet, he didn't get concussed, so that was a good sign. I thought he competed well. A lot of people commenting and giving him a hard time, but I feel like last week we lacked exactly that, where Membry could run up the ground and we could have that outlet kick like Paddy. And this week we had that outlet kick, and you could see that it actually worked. Clearances, at one point, clearances were 20-8 our way. So Hickey had a fantastic game. I give Hickey credit there. He had a very good game. I don't know what his stats were. I can find them here. But I thought he played really well. I'm going to go through a list of a couple of plays. I thought Geary was a bit better, apart from that fucked up kick that he did late in the last quarter when the game was on the line, and he kind of kicked it 5 metres and they nearly kicked a goal from it. But apart from that, he took some good marks. And to be fair, when he did that, he laid a huge tackle right after it. So he was really positive. Jack Stephen was really good. He finished with 35, I think. Seb Ross finished with 37. And Webster finished with 36. They're big numbers. That's what I mean. Like, we were more patient with the ball, but we were still aggressive. We always looked like going inboard. We always wanted to cut inside, and I liked that. We didn't stay outside like we have been doing a lot of this season. And pre-game, Geary was saying to Nicky Dell that, we're going to play a bit more aggressive today. We're going to take the game on. And we did that, but we didn't do it recklessly. We waited until there was an opening in the middle, and we went for it. Logan Austin played his first game for the club. I thought he was really good. I thought he looks quicker than he I don't know, he doesn't look quick, but he gets to the ball quickly. He distributes it really well by hand, by foot. I think he had both sides kicking left and right. He was really clean. It's going to be hard to see Nathan Brown getting back when he's fit, when Logan Austin plays a game like that. I mean, his day was made significantly easier with Jack Rewalt not playing, because that was his direct opponent, and he had to play a bit smaller. But I thought he was really good. He offered a lot of rebounds, more rebound than Nathan Brown would. He pushed up the ground. He took some good marks. He had nearly 25 possessions, so that's a great game. And in terms of, first gamers and youngsters, Phillips is a gun. He does not stop running. He does not stop tackling. Hunter Clark, probably his best game for the club. He didn't get the ball a lot, but when he did, he chipped it. He kept running, got the handball, and I loved that about his game, that he always went for the hands and the tackles. Bailey Rice, Brandon White, disappointingly, basically missed the most of the second half with a thigh injury. I think he came on right at the end. But apart from that, I honestly don't have too many issues with the game. I thought we tried to take it on. We tried to win the game. It's disappointing that we were the ones that fell away late when, Richmond were the ones with 2 less players on the bench. But in terms of us, we did miss Brandon White for the majority of the game. And, no one's going to mention that come the end of the day. They're going to mention Richmond being gallant and us being, kind of good but not quite good enough. And maybe that is the case, that we didn't have anyone at that level that could just, like a Dusty. Ross did a fantastic job on Dusty up until 3/4 time, and it looked like Richo completely got rid of that in the last quarter and wanted to just go for the win, and that meant putting Ross in a more attacking position and not being too defensive on Dusty, but that in the end gave Dusty so much space that you saw what he did to us. He needed 10 or so possessions, and he kicks goals, but he sets up his teammates so often, so that hurt us, I thought. I'll go through some of your comments. I don't want to keep ranting, but I'm actually really positive. I'm going to see what you guys think. But let's go back to the top, because there's a few comments here. James says, at least we didn't get totally smashed, which is what I fully expected. We're doing a little better. Last 2 weeks, last week was disappointing, but you see Collingwood again win against the Dogs. They're not a bad team. We're playing the reigning premiers at the G off the back of them losing. You couldn't get a reigning premier at a worse time, especially when we're not hitting great form ourselves. But we were very competitive, more competitive than a lot of teams have been against Richmond at the MCG. Even Hawthorn couldn't handle Richmond. Fremantle went there, got dominated. I went to the Brisbane game, they got dominated. There are teams that can't match Richmond's pressure, and I thought we almost levelled it for maybe 3.5 quarters. Dave says, we killed them in all the stats, 100%. We had a lot more of the ball, good tackles. I don't think we had that many inside 50s, but we were efficient when we went there. Stuart says, I think Richmond thought it would be a percentage booster. Didn't happen for them. I'm super proud of the boys. I think that too. They looked a bit complacent. They looked like maybe in the second half, when we got 2 goals up, which kills me that we got 2 goals up and immediately gave it back. But the fact that we fought back, got in front, was a great sign. But I think that was the kickstart that they needed. They knew they were losing. They went up a notch. And I feel like that's where the good teams can get us, when they go up a notch. For the most of the game, though, their kicking was as bad as ours. And we just didn't hurt them going the other way. And that's where we're at. Once we fix up that efficiency, we will be competitive. We'll be a good team. Thoughts on Logan Austin from Darcy? I thought he was fantastic. He's definitely playing next week when we could possibly miss Carla, when you've got the likes. We're facing West Coast, and you've got Darling in career best form and probably top 5 forwards in the league right now. Forward lines, they got Kennedy, they've got Lacroix, they've got Rioli, they've got some and then they've got Nat Nui, he drifts forward, and Lightshed, or whatever his name is. They've got some tools, so he's going to have his day cut out, but he's a good player and he's still young, so I'm really, really happy for him. Gresham, He was very impressive today. Everyone's been commenting, saying how good he was. Finally, I posted that, good luck on your 50th post midweek, and I got a few comments saying, you know what, who is he? He's been missing all year. He should be dropped. And he kicked 6 straight, and he kicked, half our score, so you can't be too troubled by that. We kicked 77 for the day. He kicked 6 straight, which is 36. He's kicked nearly exactly half our score, so he's had a big day at the office, and one of our best players, if not the best player for us on the day. Stewart's also asking, is Carlisle gone for the hit? I don't think the hit was that bad, and to be honest, it looked like Jack kind of acted a little bit when he went to ground, because he kind of did the rolled eyes like he was completely knocked out. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh there, but then he went onto the bench, looked completely fine for the rest of the day. I don't know if they ruled him out because he definitely couldn't play, it was just a precaution, or it's just to stuff Carlisle to get him sent off. Rewalt probably could have come back on, but it's Jake Carlisle, and he's probably going to get a week. I hope he just gets a fine, because it looked like his intent was to get the ball. It wasn't reckless. It was high impact, but it wasn't reckless. I hope he gets off, because we're going to need him big time against the West Coast Tauls. Allen says, best performance for the season without the 4 points. Couple of the new boys, Logan, Rice, did well, and Hickey was on song. 100%. Positives, the only one player I could probably pick out that didn't have a big game, but to be fair, he's had big games recently when everyone else has been down, has been Luke Dunstan. He was a bit slow, was a bit off the pace. He didn't look switched on, but everyone else looked switched on, so I'm happy for that. Usually it's everyone else is switched off, and we're just talking about maybe a Dunstan or an Akers playing really well, but this week it was everyone bar maybe Dunstan. I even thought Jack Loney at ground level was good. He had a few very clever kicks, dinky kicks inboard that were, that no one's going to talk about, but it just shows that he's got a good brain for footy. He's not built for footy, but maybe Richo's more about the little taps that he does, little dinky kicks that opens up the game. There's little things that he does that if you watch closely, he's a very good player, but he's just small, so he gets smashed every time he gets the ball, kind of like when I play. Gary says, we still turn the ball over in bad positions, but that's fixable with good coaching, 100%. And the turnovers we did were turnovers that were aggressive, that wanted to win the game. They weren't shit short kicks. They were going inboard, and I love that Rice fucked up the kick inboard and it cost a goal. But then 10 minutes later, he got the ball in the same position and did the exact same kick, nailed it, and then we kicked a goal from it, and Gresham kicked a goal. So I like that Richo's still saying, back yourself. You're going to stuff up, but back yourself. We want to be aggressive, and that's how we're going to win games. And I love that Rice, early in his career, had confidence to continue to do that. Lindy says, better effort today, changing it up. Love the new guys. Must keep playing them. Jack Stephen is a star, 100%. And I feel like he lifted the team today. His form was very good going into this game anyway, but he went to a new level today. And I loved that a lot of the players just took the game on. They just said, stuff this, we don't care, we're playing Richmond. And it was good. We didn't show Richmond that much, I don't know what the word is, but that much respect. We respected them because they're the reigning premiers, but we also said, well, we're going to take you on and try and beat you anyway. So I like that about our youngsters. Mitchell says, youngsters played really well. I think Brown is getting too slow, and I agree Austin will make it hard for Brown to come back. Agreed. I think Brown's sitting at home or at the game today watching Austin thinking, I might not get a game unless Carlisle gets a week, in which case Brown comes straight back in just to add that extra tall. Sinclair, actually, I forgot that he even played, so maybe Sinclair was a bit more quiet than Dunstan, but apart from that, I'm not too disappointed, guys, in all honesty. Paul says, great review of the match. Thanks very much for that, Paul. Jason, stop the 10-15 metre kicks that end up turnovers, handball. Yeah, handball or the dinky kicks are always risky in your back half, especially when the umpire says it's not 15. You get pinned, and teams like Richmond, who had literally no tools today, they cough it up, and you're going to cough up goals. Our best defeat for the year. Jack Billings was a bit better, wasn't he, guys? What do you think? I thought Jack Billings was better. That goal where he just backed himself and nailed it was great. He led up, he took the mark. He seemed more like he was imposing himself on the game and wasn't just a passenger watching it pass him by. He went in hard, so there's clearly some little improvements in everyone. And that's why I think that we can't be too critical of this performance. I'm pretty happy with it. Paul says, hope this builds more belief. That's exactly what I'm hoping for. I wanted us to get the win, even if, Richmond are 2 down, just for us to get the 4 points and to sing the song and to get that vibe of we fucking won the game and let's move on and get some more 4 points and show them how it feels. They probably forget how a win feels now. It's sad to say, but that's nearly 9 weeks ago now. That's 2-3 months nearly, so you need to get a win soon, but you go to West Coast next week. It's going to be very tough, but if they show just the same effort, the same competitiveness as they did today, I'll be a happy saint. And that's all we can ask for. And a lot of you guys seem to agree with me in that, yeah, we lost, but I don't have that anger. We took the game on. We lost it like other teams may have lost it to Richmond. We didn't lose it because we were particularly shit. We just lost it because maybe there was some inexperience in the last 10 minutes. And I can't even say, and we missed our chances. We kicked our chances, that we just didn't have enough of them. We kicked 12-5. That's only 17 scoring shots to 30 like Richmond, so they nearly had double. You can see how that, at the end of the day, will blow the margin out to, a good 5 goals. But overall, pretty happy. I can't be really too worried with that. I just like that Richo's on the bench. He seems to be trying something different. All our complaints over the last 6-7 weeks has been do something different. Stop playing the same way, otherwise we're going to expect the same results, But Richo's clearly doing something different. We've blooded so many new players, and not one of them has let us down. Rice has been good. Brandon White, disappointingly, didn't run out the game, but he's been good. Phillips is the best of the lot. Logan was excellent. Hunter Clark even, it's not his first game, but he's one of those youngsters that he's slowly coming into his own. And Caulfield, I feel like, would have had a big game today, but obviously he missed. Hopefully, I think he was only managed this week, so hopefully he can come back next week against West Coast. But overall, guys, I'm not disappointed like I have been recently. It seems like, based on the comments, a lot of you aren't as disappointed as we have been recently. And before I close it, Jaden mentions that thought Logan Austin was extremely solid and added more on-ground level than Brown did. 100%. He got the ball and he offered rebound, and I agree with Jaden. Then I think I mentioned that earlier, that Brown is basically a stopper, punch it, mark it, handball off to the running player, but Logan Austin actually has skills to use, so he's able to take the mark and actually create rebound, whereas Brown is take the mark and wait for someone to run past, which may slow us down. Chris says, each week we're still taking the smaller options than going long, which finds us in a turnover. Agreed, and now with Paddy back, we can take those longer options. And Cal says, Jimmy Webster consistent again. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. There's so many comments to talk through. This video could go for over an hour. I feel like if we get a win, we'll just stream for hours and just celebrate. I'll just play the Saints song on repeat, but hopefully that's sooner rather than later. I'll leave it there because we could just be talking and I don't want to take up too much time. But overall, happy. We lost by 28 points. That's 2 weeks in a row where we haven't lost by over 5 goals. I know that's not something to be positive about, but sooner or later, I feel like we're going to sneak one. We're going to sneak one that we're not expected to, like Brisbane did last week against the Hawks. And I like that Richo's trying something different, so I can't be too disappointed there, and I hope you guys aren't either. And yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll answer your comments once this is done, and I'll just get on my laptop and answer any comments that I haven't in this live feed. But I hope you like it. Please like this video, share it to your Saints fans. That's something I want to keep doing. It's growing really fast, but I feel like there are more Saints fans out there that would like this stuff. So if you know anyone that you've got on Facebook, just invite them to the page or tag them in this post, and hopefully they like the page as much as you guys do, because I love your support. Anyway, leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.